Live, everyone. It's a very, very, very long night. I 2020, he won North Carolina, and I went to bed, and I'm like, hey, we're good. Everything's fine. I wake up, and it's like, what is this? Like, what is this? It was crazy. So I'm exhausted because I literally, I was watching the math all night. I don't even think they really gave him the last one until like early this morning. So, but exciting. I think it's exciting for everyone, even if you don't like the guy. I know people that didn't like him, but they still enjoyed the fruits of his labor during that 4-year period. And I was just thankful that we didn't start any new wars. So didn't mean to get all, political at the very beginning here, but it was kind of a big deal. And but today you guys are here for what? You're here for the Advisor HR webinar. So we've got Matt Monroe, who is here from Advisor HR, and Charles Britt, who is part of our team, and they are going to lead this whole thing. And I know you may think HR is a very boring subject, but these two guys are master storytellers, and they are going to, I know I'm setting the bar really high for you guys, but they are going to knock your socks off with all the different things that you can accomplish with a good HR solution. So even putting together some of this stuff for you guys, I was like, wow, man, that's some serious savings. It was just, so you guys, you're going to get a lot out of it. I'm going to back up. Hey, Matt, do you have your screen ready to go? And then we'll, I'll make sure. Yeah. So you can throw that up there and we'll make sure that's good to go before I step out. And then if for some reason I don't come back, Charles, and you're calling for me, I passed out. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Hey, go for it.
I just passed out. So I'm getting too old. I'm like the guy in Lethal Weapon. I'm getting too old for this crap.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Joel. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So we got Matt from Advisor HR. We've been working with them for, coming up, what, 1.5, 2 years? And they are a PEO. So sort of a boutique payroll, workers' comp, HR, general liability. They spun up a firearms inventory insurance product specifically because we had, ranges and manufacturers and facilities that were having, firearm thefts and break-in, right? So they're doing some really advanced things in the industry to figure out how to really give you some cutting-edge products. And I think number one, how to get your small to mid-sized business the tools of like a Fortune 500 company, while at the same time saving some money. So we can talk about the payroll, guys. If you are have 1 to 500 employees, go ahead. The link is in the chat over on the side. Book a call, right? We can get some great comps on your workers' comp, on your payroll with some really advanced tools that your employees are going to love. But today we're going to first start around benefits, right? But just wanted to say, drug tests, lead tests, workers' comp, hiring solutions, tax credits for hiring veterans that's automated, and just some really great services and tools. The training platform's awesome, right? Think about, you can automate publishing, your job postings. That's going to screen for tax credits on those employees. And then before they even step in for their first day of work, they've gone through training modules on, hey, this is how we handle range safety. This is how we handle 4473s. These are our policies. This is the terminology we use. Whatever you want to do to build out that training module, they show up the first day, they're pretty much ready to rock and roll, right? And all of that is tied in with their background check, with their drug tests, their scheduling, their workers' comp, their benefits, their probation period, all that good stuff. So it's worth checking it out, because I think you'll be surprised, even if you got 3 employees, right? Well, if you want to accelerate, you need to get this as a solid foundation. So Matt, I'll kind of take it from there. Let's dive into, I think benefits would be of really good interest because it's open enrollment, and a lot of companies, right, even companies that are 50 to 70 employees, they're like, we can't offer that. These guys have a way to get some excellent Blue Cross health insurance plans with no minimum enrollment, whether you're a 2-person company or bigger. So Matt, with that, I'll kind of let you take the floor. And everyone watching, if you have any specific questions, it's a broad topic, feel free to ask, and we can dive into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're really known for is, coming through with a lot of our clients with the benefits. And so, from the time you hire somebody to the time they retire with you, whether it's short or long term, we're providing every piece that touches an employee, from the onboarding piece all the way through the benefit piece of the onboarding, whether you're to have immediate startups with those people or they're waiting through eligibility periods. But, one of the names you brought up was, the premier network carrier, and that's Blue Cross Blue Shield. And, Advisor HR, partnered with Coreware, we have done something pretty amazing. In the PEO space, Professional Employment Organization, we have a contract and have had it for years with Blue Cross Blue Shield to do some special underwriting for our group. So we call this our multi-employer plan. So imagine we have a client, which we do in Tennessee, Firearms dealer there, and they do everything. They sell, they train, they do everything. They're a client of ours, and all of a sudden we bring on another client in Arkansas, North Carolina, Georgia, Las Vegas, Nevada, Arizona, wherever, okay? And the next thing you know, we've got 10, 20, 30. All of those companies, all of those firearm industry-related companies can use our multi-employer plans. What does this mean? It means that we've got 10 plans from $500 deductibles to $5,000 deductibles, from high performance networks to PPOs to HSAs, health savings accounts. So there's a lot to offer our clients inside of this industry we've been building some time now. Okay, so and focusing on. So all of these companies can take advantage of those rates, those multi-employer group plans. So all the rules and regulations that you've had where somebody walks in and tries to sell you a plan at some point, some benefit plan, whether it's with United, Cigna, even Blue Cross, maybe you weren't able to do it. Maybe it was a cost reason. Maybe it was a participation reason. Maybe, whatever that reason is, all those barriers are broken with Advisor HR. We're able to come in there with your total human capital management platform with all your areas, again, that are touching employees, and the benefits is a key piece in today's market. We just experienced it. We're going to experience it over the next 4 years, and how much it can get better. But with Advisor HR, it can be better right now, because if you're looking for richer programs, we have it. If you're looking for, spending less money, we have it. If you're looking for more flexibility with doctor networks, we have it. And it's all with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We're the only PEO with the contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield. So it's absolutely phenomenal product. It also includes dental and vision and other things as well. So we've got long-term, short-term. We've got every ancillary product that touches our clients. And if you're married to a particular product, for example, if you love a particular product that you have with an agent, phenomenal thing with us, we don't make you have to move. Okay, you can keep it. We can carve in, carve out products like that. The key component is, utilizing our platform like you utilize Coreware's platform for all your needs in the POS industry.
Yeah, and the cool thing with that, right? Even if you want to keep your liability insurance, but they can help you with your workers' comp, or they can help you with your lead testing and background checks, they will still do the administration, even for third-party products, right? And deal with all that. So, their system's really robust. Matt, maybe you can show us a little bit of those broader slides. While you're pulling that up, some things in the firearm industry, especially around if you're like, hey man, it'd be great to offer health insurance. It'd be great to offer, dental, vision, all of that, because number one, it's great for employee retainment, right? Because if they're getting health insurance from you, they're going to want to stay longer, right? We know how much of a revolving door it can be. It's a challenge, particularly in this industry, because there are a lot of veterans that work in this space. And so a lot of the times they're not needing, health insurance. So then you can't meet those minimum enrollments. And that is why this is such a great option. even if you've got a lot of, veterans that work for you, well, now you've got something, maybe you're not a veteran and you want to be, passing your personal health insurance costs through your business, so it's tax deductible, and offer that, bifurcated, to your managers, et cetera. So really great solution. And then some really impressive rates and plans around that. And then Matt, while you're pulling that up, I think the other thing that is particularly fascinating, if you could maybe spend a minute or two talking about the veteran and like the zip code based tax credits, right? So I think, if you're a business owner, right, you can get these $5,000 to $6,000 tax credits when you hire a veteran, right? But the paperwork to follow up on that and to make sure that you have captured that they qualify is a huge headache, and you've got like a limited time window after you hire them to actually get that. With their hiring platform, as soon as you onboard an employee that qualifies, they are making self-selections, right, that are going to flag them as, oh, hey, this person lives in an impoverished zip code, so the company is going to get XYZ tax credit. This person has identified themselves as a veteran, they're going to get a tax credit. The employee doesn't have visibility to that. At Advisor HR, you don't have to lift a finger. They're going to process the paperwork to get you those $5,000 to $6,000 tax credits. So, if you hire 10 veterans a year, right, that adds up to a significant amount of money. Did I kind of hit that right, Matt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's all part of the onboarding process. You've got a certain amount of days to make these filings, and a lot of people don't know this. So when you're bringing on a new employee and you're looking at our electronic onboarding, imagine your experience as a new employee. It kind of like lays the path of how your experience is going to be working for a company. So everything that you're going to need to onboard a new employee starts from the moment you enter in their name and their email and you hit submit, launches them an email to go through that onboarding platform. And what's nice about it is about 3 steps into the onboarding is the WOTC credit spot where they're going to put yes or no, they're a veteran. And obviously we have a lot of veterans, in our network with in our firearm industry. And so this has meant thousands of dollars in tax credits for those companies that hire the veterans that help them out tremendously. And we administrate every single bit of it. All you have to do is make the hire. They go on board, they fill out the information, we collect all the data. We've got all their employment information to start payroll, everything else. It's a seamless operation. Next thing you know, we're working on your WOTC credit and you get notified of what that is. And we handle every bit of it. So we're administrating all of it. And this is what you're looking at on the screen share here is really a kind of a broad view of our, connectivity. Everything's connected to one platform. And that's what we love about this. That's what companies, are leaving behind some of the older, people or older companies in this industry, because our technology is so great. Because once you get into the HR and the payroll piece and the workforce management, meaning, how are you keeping up with the hours? How are you keeping up with PTO? Is it easy? Is it friendly to use? Can people do it on the fly? Can managers approve, disapprove? Can it be shown on corporate calendars? All those things that we provide in our back office, in the payroll processing, the HR. And by the way, we have HR legal as well, Charles. I know you know that, but that's probably one of our biggest components here is that it's complementary services. So as a client in this industry, if you become a client, anytime you need employee law or the attorney, no matter what the situation may be internally for employee discipline matters, terminations, we handle all that complimentary as well. Okay.
Yep. And the stories I've heard from that, from our clients that use you are really interesting, right? So, a couple things there on the legal, right? Like you said, it's included, and business owners are super busy, right? And you're like, oh, hey, Timmy, I think is like slipping some 20s out of the cash drawer, right? Well, what's the best way to document that? Oh, did he sign the employee handbook? Oh, what's his employment status? Is he in probation period? Number one, all of that documentation is in one spot for that employee. Mm-hmm. They're going to help you with performance improvement process if you need to just document poor performance for employees, and even help with that coaching. But the thing is, right, it's like, okay, I don't want to get sued, I don't want to have to end up paying unemployment. Okay, you know what, I'm not going to call an attorney that's going to charge me $300-400 an hour because Timmy is stealing $40 a week, right? But then that all starts to add up, right? Harassment, slip and fall, and then particularly in the shooting sports, we've seen this a lot. Oh, hey, my lead levels are through the roof, and it's your fault, right? Well, how about a platform that, as part of the onboarding, it schedules their lead test, it schedules their hearing test, it's all right there, and they've got the best rates in the country that I've seen for background checks, lead testing, and hearing testing. So that's all documented, right? And then, like Matt's saying, hey, you've got a question. Hey, what's the best way to handle this? I've got an employee that said this other employee's been harassing them. You can call up an actual HR attorney and get that consult free of charge. And then if you do end up with a workers' comp claim, or you end up with an unemployment claim, they actually go and fight that on your behalf, right? So, I've been in situations where I had to deal with a workers' comp claim, and that sucked up, so much energy and stress. Having a pro be able to take that at no charge is so invaluable.
Right. And Charles, that's the relationship we have with Coreware. Our partnership is that when we're doing these tests, it's because you're a client, because you're dialed in with us and you're using our platform, things like that, there's no extra fees. So we don't add one extra fee to have that done. That's what makes the benefits the greatest benefits that you can choose, because there's no agent making a living here at Advisor HR, whether it's the lead testing or background checks or the benefits or the ancillary products. You're getting all of these services and rates because you're a client of Advisor HR and a partner here with Coreware. You're getting all of this at the rack rates. So it's that's remarkable in itself, and that's been our whole plan and our whole strategy, our whole business model with our partnership with Coreware, is to just have all of these tools available that are typically just cost prohibitive, and they're not available, whether because maybe the business is too small or whatever it may be, or you don't have enough full time. We overcome a lot of barriers for these employers. And then we provide the tools that are absolutely first class, absolutely best in class, such as our Learn and Grow. Okay, well, who uses Learn and Grow? Well, the last firearm store I was in, there was a training room. And in that training room, there's a TV, there's chairs, and they have classes and everything else. And so we have the ability, we have 90,000 videos in our Learn and Grow platform, our learning management system. We have hundreds where people can take their own videos and put in there, and we'll do it for them and build the content out for them and the questions and answers and the pass and fails all the way through, that's tied to the employee's file in the human resource information system, which is the hub of everything, which does the payroll and all of these functions. So everything's connected. That's what you're looking at, this award-winning single ACM platform that's just intelligently connected. And so everything from your LMS to your performance management, if you want to get into some of that, or even some of your ATS, which is applicant tracking, hiring, and everything else. So it's all built in. It's done wonderfully. It's all connected to one single source. And as far as running your platform, a lot of companies are still using, a lot of our under 50 employee groups are still using QuickBooks. We have total connectivity with QuickBooks. So all your general ledger reports, everything else. And by the way, Charles, our accounting department here works with a lot of the firearm industry offices and helps build out specific reports for them for their needs, which is another feather in the cap of saying, I really need to switch to Advisor HR and just get totally dialed into everything that's going on with Coreware and Advisor HR together, and just use all the tools. So that in itself makes it a good seamless transition. But also, what's the most important part of your business? The sale of the firearms or the training of the firearms or whatever it may be. The whole running the business piece with employees, that's a whole different business. So you got two businesses there. You got your firearms industry, then you got your employees. And so that's what our people here are experts at. So is helping navigate that.
Yeah. And if you run a firearms business, you are operating one of the most regulated and complicated businesses there is, right? Dealing with ATF, dealing with NFA paperwork, dealing again with all the extra risk and liability, right? That alone is like this extra tension on you as an operator that, if you're running a boutique or like just an outdoor shop, you're not having to deal with. So the fact that Advisor HR can kind of take some of that off your plate and let you drive your business is awesome. And then for your employees, right? That's the other great thing here is, for retention, right? Number one, right? They can integrate into all the job postings, even where a lot of the firearms postings get like shadow banned and blacklisted because it's going through Advisor HR and they've got like such a reach. You can get top applicants. It's going to, again, do all of that tracking, track all the tax credits. And again, on that onboarding with the education piece, we're seeing some really cool stuff where you can also create, a lot of those preloaded videos. Those are kind of the CYA, like cover your butt videos, right? Hey, every employee's watched this on harassment. Every employee's watched this on OSHA, on, lead mitigation, on, your standard policies. That way, if there's an issue, right, you can do that performance improvement process. If you're needing to, maybe let an employee go, in 1 or 2 clicks, right, you've got all that documentation and you can say, oh, hey, you signed this, you were aware of this. So that's kind of your, the cover yourself as the employer component. But think about, right, if you have lots of instructors, right, or maybe you're a manufacturer and it's like, hey, you want to run the lathe or you want to run this piece of machinery. Okay, well, you got to start as an RSO and pass this RSO course that can even be part of the onboarding. Or, hey, you need to pass this digital course to become an instructor level 1. But first you have to be an RSO, right? So you can build some, some real loyalty and some, camaraderie for your employees of like, hey, I matriculated up and I am, earned this certain thing. And then the time and attendance piece, what we've seen to be most popular, number one, the geofencing with the, clocking in from your phone. You can see where your employees are clocking in from. You can limit where they can clock in from. But what I love is the shift swaps, right? So your managers are not going to have to be fielding like, well, hey, Susie wants Saturday off. Can she swap with Tom? It's like, this is automatic where it knows, well, hey, that shift is a range officer shift. So only other range officers are even eligible to take that swap, right? And so, Susie can put out there to the rest of your employees, hey, I want Saturday off. Can someone swap? It will only allow, the equivalently, credentialed person to take that swap. And then that just goes up to the, the manager dashboard. Oh, do you want to approve this shift swap? Boom, there you go. And then even if you're already offering benefits, right, tracking, well, hey, you got to be here for 90 days before you can get health insurance or before you can get a certain commission rate or before you can participate in the 401k, which they can offer. All of that is tracked, as is, sick pay, time off, vacation, and both the employee and the employer can see that. They can request, hey, I want to take this vacation week. All of those time off requests feed over to the scheduling calendar, right? So scheduling is so much easier. And then you've got great reporting data to see, right? Oh, how many hours was I spending on, those high workers' comp range officer roles, right? How many people were on the sales floor? Oh man, I've got too many people requesting time off because I need to fill these slots. It gives you this incredible dashboard for really efficient scheduling.
Right. Charles, I think what's important is seeing is believing, right? So, what I want to tell everybody is, every single category you see here, for example, there's a live demo for this, just a one-on-one demo. We can do all of them in one session. We can take what's important to you. We can demo the system, the platform. it's a great and way to do it and to experience it. So on our website, advisorhr.net, you're going to see a link called
Matt. I put the link right here in the chat. Yep.
Oh,
So yeah,
awesome.
and that's got live scheduled spots. So yeah, click over in the messaging. I mean, especially coming up on the end of the year, right? It's, hey, Geico, they figured it out, right? 15 minutes or more could save you. Right. So it's like spend the 15 minutes, see what they can do. We can tell you about some of the really interesting stuff that they've done, specific in the firearm space, right? Again, some cool things, right? And what they do is they look at your business as a whole, right? There was a company that they're like, well, we can't get commercial insurance for our warehouse because it's in it didn't have like the right fire code zoning, right? It's like, well, because their inventory insurance is again bundled in the entire network, that didn't matter, right? And they were able to insure them. So kind of the same thing, right? For the commercial, for auto insurance, the health insurance. I really think, right, if you want to operate at kind of a higher level and use some of this technology, that's number one, just check out some of the tech. But number two, right, they can get you a comp on the insurance, on your payroll, on your workers' comp. So you can end up saving a ton of money, not to mention those veteran tax credits, while at the same time getting this much elevated system.
Yeah, I think one thing to point out too is, I think what separates us, besides all this technology and all the connectivity and all the tools to expand your business and just kind of seamlessly bring it into one unified system, is that when you need support, when you dial the number here at our company, the people on the third floor here we call them our client service department. They answer the phone in 3 rings. You're talking to somebody within 3 rings to help you through whatever you have, whatever issue it is. Now, if you're a manager, if you're an HR leader, if you're the owner of the company, you'll probably be talking to our second floor, which is more of our leadership team, our HR team, those type of folks. And they're solving problems. They're doing your handbooks for you. They're making sure that any guidance or new guides or policies that you have that need to be approved are all put on your portal, so everybody gets a notification on their phone. They can sign it immediately. They're walking you through any reporting you may want to do. They're walking you through any new LMS videos you want to put up and train. It's just a different experience, and it's cost efficient. So from doing all of these functions, you would think, wow, this has got to be tremendously expensive. It's not. It's a per employee fee per pay period, and is very inexpensive. So if you got a small company and you're hiring a new person, you know exactly what that cost is. Could be, pennies on the dollar overall for the year when it comes to total employee engagement, experience, and empowerment of giving your employees some self-service tools. So imagine you today, if an employee walks in your office and says, hey, I just moved, just got married, just had a baby, just this. What changes do you have to do in their employment to be different? If you have benefits or anything else. So now your day's interrupted. Now, if you don't do this all the time, you've got to go chase down materials. You got to do this. It's all integrated into our system. The employee can go in and change their address. The employee can go in and change their W-4 and put more money down for taking out taxes, or they can call us and go, what do you think I should do? Get advice and things of that nature. So there's a lot of self-service tools that the larger your company is, the more valuable it is, because you don't want to waste time, dealing with all the nuisances and the flies. That's what in the jungle, the tiger doesn't kill you. It's all the flies and the insects, all the little things. So, I say that in this business too. It just takes away from your resources, from your people that are working and doing tremendous things for your business, and allows them to do things that are more, more productive in your company. I will say this: we've been talking about the firearms industries, the stores, it's kind of the ranges and those type of things. One of our biggest sectors in this is manufacturing. Manufacturing is the huge part of our services, and from time clocks to you're clocking in with key fobs to fingerprints to facial scanning to whatever it may be. Okay, so we handle a lot of manufacturing companies as well. So anything in the realm of the industry, we work with tremendously, and it's our back. And we're all across the country. Our clients are everywhere. The employees that we service underneath our employer agreements and help them, they're all over the country, to Hawaii, all the way over to Florida, to the Northeast. They're just everywhere. So it's all integrated.
And a lot of CBD. It was interesting when we started working with you guys. You already had a big portfolio of CBD companies, which is our other kind of vertical as well. So actually, we've been talking about firearms. We've got I believe a few of our CBD clients using you guys as well, because interestingly, you run into some of the same issues with insurance, with regulation, and even like on the banking and financial side. So like a lot of this is, if you're using our Core Clear payment processing, right, we've got the best rates with sort of the best whiz bang tech, right? And we just kind of do that as a value add. We're here for our software platforms. Advisor HR is kind of the same way, in that like they're here for this core business, right? For helping you with the HR, with hiring, all of those daily admin tasks. But because they write there are their own insurance agents, right? That's not their bread and butter. They do that as a value add, to the client. So it's kind of cool how it's a, very sort of similar strategy, right? In providing the best services for our mutual clients.
So our biggest advocates in our client base is our HR folks that work at those companies. Okay, whether it's a 15 employee group with an HR person or a 500-man group with 2 or 3 HR people, they absolutely, the smaller group can't live without us, and the larger group can't live without the technology and the support that we provide them as well. So it's so different, the experience, because you would think, well, how's this affect an HR person's deal if they're providing all this? You need the tools. As an HR leader, you need the tools. So between the owners of being able to run more cost efficient, provide more for their employees, be able to see everything, run reports from one location to another, multiple locations, or just one single store or manufacturing plant, to whatever it may be. Okay, those HR leaders out there and the owners and the CFOs, CEOs of those companies, and a lot of times some owners are, all of those. so it can be a huge benefit for them as far as getting back some of their time in their schedule and not being so consumed with all these details, and making sure that there's no gray lines and nothing's come back and haunt them in the past. Because we're working really, really with the IRS. The IRS is a beast, right? So we want to make sure from a compliance standpoint, from the day you come on, we are the layer between your company and the Internal Revenue Service. And so they come to us, they don't go to you, and we're handling all that. And it's a tremendous amount of responsibility for us, and compliance and risk and license and everything else that we have to help support our clients.
Yeah. And that's, once you start getting over that 5, 6, 10 employees, right? And then it's like, oh my gosh, I've got 2 garnishments I got to deal with. Oh, I've got, whatever child support that you got to take out. The amount of filing you guys do on the back end is pretty impressive. So again, that's why it's worth, like, go ahead and book. You see it right here, right? You can't click it there. Come over to the comments. Just book a time, because every business is different. And it's, being on these demos, it's like I always learn something like, oh, hey, oh no, you guys were like filing this wrong, and they were able to save X here, or crazy savings on general liability, on, again, like the health insurance. Or I think, again, what I think is the most interesting is that sort of automation around the veteran tax credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 10, 20, $40,000+ a year, right? Probably for like your average range in tax credit. So definitely book some time, because really when you get into the weeds of this is where like the interesting leverage comes from. And you said, the gray line. For me, this is the gray hair, right? I ran a range before, and when we started using you guys, it was like this. I didn't know I had this low level anxiety, right? Of like, okay, like what am I gonna, like when someone accidentally has an accident on the range, when, you know, someone's lead levels are too high. Oh, did we get this person onboarded correctly? Oh, wait, oh no, they actually didn't sign, you know, their training document or whatever. Where, oh, I need to go find that, right? There's all this manual stuff in a bunch of different places. Knowing that I can just call them and be like, hey, can you take care of this? There's like this, like the sympathetic sigh of like, someone's got that pain in the butt stuff covered for me.
Yeah, that's where, you know, we do all that heavy lifting, and we have an incredible team. We really do. Our team here, the culture here, the support that you get from our team is, I mean, it's the difference maker. And so, you know, whether you're that large company or the small company, I think the anxiety level that you talked about, we love it when I hear stories all the time. Well, so-and-so owner was on vacation and they were just thrilled about how they ran payroll this time with us because it was their first experience of sitting on the beach, proving payroll on their phone with their payroll with their payroll processor right here on our staff. Because whether you self-service it yourself and you want to do it yourself, you can, or our payroll processor is doing it for you, doesn't matter. No cost difference. If you need to turn right around 20 minutes later after you run payroll and go, oh, I forgot to bonus somebody, you can do that, or we can do it for you. It's that simple. And we've tried to take the headache of, you know, a lot of times, you know, you get involved with these third-party companies and there's just nobody to talk to. So our whole, you know, mission here is to be readily available to the client and, you know, to those HR folks. And then we're providing all that outsourced HR. So I like to call it, it's a bridge that fills the gap. So if you got a really strong HR team and they're just getting everything done, you need the right technology and you need us to build out things for you and launch them and do those type of things for you, great. If you got the smaller scale company and you are just bombarded, I mean, you're having to run some of the things in the other pieces of the company and HR, and then you have questions about some things about what this is right. Should I do this? Somebody said this to somebody. How do we address it? All those type of things. That's where we're at. Okay, so we can be that strong hand-holding HR force for your smaller company, big company, whichever. And then you'd be surprised at how many, you know, companies have 800 employees and they organically grew. And you've got people that are just running the HR that, you know, when they hear that we're coming, they're just, please bring the support. And so in the smaller companies, it's exactly what you said. It's the level of anxiety that kind of leaves. And you really don't understand that until you experience it. So I would suggest that jump on one of these demos. You keep flashing that up there because you're going to go through this little cycle of experience and go, wow, this could make a huge difference for us. Then I think what happens is right now, I think how you started this call was we're right at the end of the year where a lot of people making Jan 1 decisions. So, you know, there's still plenty of time, you know, to make a decision to do something different for the first of the year when it comes, if in particular, if you have renewals coming up for January 1. Now, we bring on clients every single month in this industry. So it doesn't matter. Okay. It's like when you start with us, you drop your luggage, come on, you've got something new, clean slate. We go from there. So we do that every single month. But this time of the year, a lot of people renewing with different products, different services, and they're going, I wonder if this advisor HR can help us. And then we take a step in there, and next thing you know, we're helping to different companies. So I would suggest, you know, jumping on those demos right now. There's plenty of time between now and the end of the year to make a switch and move our direction. And even if it's going to be Q2, it doesn't matter to us. Okay, it really doesn't. Yep. You have the ability to make an impact now. If you need some of these collateral materials, just, you know, get in touch with Charles. You know, he can get you any materials that you want to review. But to really see it for what it's worth for your company is get on a demo, experience it, and you've still got time for 2025 January Other than that, if you want to take your time and get into it sometime in the next first quarter of 2020, that's fine too.
Yeah,
It's going to
Smitty,
be.
I posted the link there for Smitty Avery. Let me know. You should be able to click that, and it'll take you to a calendar. Book a spot. If you've got whatever you're using, you can kind of come to that meeting with nothing, and we can dive into it with you. But like Matt's saying, they can get you spun up really quick, right? Think about how excited your employees are going to be heading into the busy holiday season when they say, "Hey, download this app." You're going to see a bunch of new benefits. You can opt in for even even a lot of what's really popular, that, like, what do you call it, Matt? It's like the high risk. I know a lot of people don't like it, but a lot of our clients use it. There's like high risk insurance policies, a 401k. You do a 401k with a match, right? Talk about like employee retention,
Or no,
right?
or no match, or no match.
Yeah. Or no, you don't have to do a match, but it's either way, no fee to you. Or if you want a match,
say that again, because that's hard to believe. There's no fee to have a 401k in there for the employer. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's complimentary services, just like our legal department, just like our HR person that's assigned to you, and you call them 3 times this week or 3 times this year. There's no additional fees.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could be for something really extreme, like a harassment question, or again, like I said, they will deal with your workers' comp and like workers' comp claims as well as unemployment claims, which not only saves you the headache, but a ton of money down the road. But even something simple as like, hey, this employee keeps missing their lunch break, right? And that, like, it's those little things that stack up. You're too busy to, whatever. Well, now you've got an employee that, maybe they're like, hey, you guys didn't give me a lunch break for 6 months, right? Because they get disgruntled about something. They call up the advisor HR attorneys. They're going to walk you through how to deal with that, how to document that. And because you've got this great scheduling platform, you've got all that data, right? So again, it's that kind of peace of mind. Smitty, were you able to get that link working there in the chat? If not, you can even just like post your phone number there. I can get that scheduled for you, or you can jump into our support chat and we can get you linked as well. But yeah, I think that's a good broad summary. Again, just definitely book that demo. Matt, any components we're missing as far as what you guys offer, or anything specific to the season, specific to, hey, jumping on benefits, or maybe even if you haven't thought about as a business owner offering health insurance, vision, dental, 401k, like what are some tertiary potential like benefits for the employer before we head out?
I think what's really interesting too is let's say you're not ready for a full major medical plan. You just don't feel like you can afford to be a part of that, because you are going to have to pay a percentage of whatever the premium is, even though ours are rack rate. Again, can't stress that enough. But maybe you're thinking, well, you know what? I would love this platform. I really don't need the benefits. Great. Let's carve it out. Don't have to have it. Remember that you don't have to have that. But what we can do is we have a tremendous amount of other benefits, such as that 401k you just mentioned, that's complimentary, doesn't cost the employer anything. And then, so we can put that in if you want. We don't have to. We can put in a dental, a vision, okay, 100% employee paid, okay, at a rate of just few dollars for the vision, for example. We've got guaranteed term insurance, okay. So let's say somebody, and that goes up to $50,000 of guaranteed insurance. So for somebody in their 30s, it's $5 or $6 a month. Somebody my age, I'm a little bit older, it's a little bit more, but it's still one of the most expensive plans in the country. And then so you've got all type of you got cancer insurance, you got accident insurance, you got all these little things that are $10, $15 a month for employees they can pay 100% of. Or the employer may say, we can't do that full medical, but we'll give everybody $100 a month to do whatever they want with our benefits, and the benefits are all ancillary. So there's lots of ways to do these things. And remember, today it's all about retention of employees. It's hard to get employees these days, and when you get them, how do you keep them? And so we'll help create creative ideas for you, because we're all about cost reduction and helping you with your employee experience, with that's an EX thing. We want them to have that great experience. And then honestly, you want those employees to turn around and tell their friends, you need to work here. So, and if you can create that kind of environment, then you've got a real winning, team wherever you are. That includes the manufacturing, that includes the stores, the ranges, and everything that touches our industry in the firearms. So we're excited about that. The demo is the way to do it. Become a real believer. It's a one-on-one. You're getting into the weeds. If you've got your decision makers on those calls, your HR people joining in to see some of the tools, you're absolutely going to be blown away by the experience and the depth of conversation that can help your company.
Yeah, and you're probably going to learn something because, like I said, I sit in on a lot of those, and it's, most of the time there's some interesting little snippet that's like this aha moment, right? Even if they don't sign up with Advisor HR, it's like, oh, well, okay, cool, yeah, I'm going to implement that, or that's a tax credit I didn't know about, or some filing that I didn't know I had to do, or OSHA compliance, that I didn't even know I had to do, and you're telling me you guys will handle all of that paperwork and digitize it. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, great stuff. Anyone have any questions or comments? Hit them up there. And again, yeah, snag that demo. Yeah, I guess really the only other piece that I, looks like we got, well, about another minute or two here. On the hiring side, if you could explain a little bit about, some of those integrations, because again, getting, good help is hard, right? And so then now if you can help find the best, gunsmiths, the best range officers, and now you're saying, hey, okay, we found the applicant, we're running the background check, we're doing the digital onboarding, and before they even show up, they've gone through like our basic digital training, so now they are assimilated with us in our basic rules. Maybe what are some little tidbits on that workflow on finding the best staff?
Wow. I got a whole book for you. So where you want to start? So that's a whole new ball game there. I mean, there's so much to talk about when it comes to that in today's marketplace of employment. So we've got a tremendous amount of support and technology that can help you attract top talent. And so, we're tied into 4,000 job boards on our ATS platform. We're a premier Indeed client. So if you have our ATS package, applicant tracking, which is built into a career section on your website, we're going to be able to provide a lot of support from that standpoint. Now, we provide the technology of how to do it. Your team still is sourcing the candidates you want to hire, but you should be able to get better quality candidates. So whether you're using LinkedIn as your job board, or monster.com or Indeed or whatever, there's a ton of free boards out there. There's thousands of them that we tie into. You can track all these things. So this is, for larger companies, the ATS is a good option. But just, having the HR people to help even navigate, what a job description looks like for this role, eliminating different, if you put a post out there today and you just put a general post out there for a specific position, it's funny, you have people from, that are, they're not even close to being qualified for the job applying, and then how do you narrow that down to finding the right key candidates? That's where our systems, our platforms, and our people can support. So we can give you a lot of information on that. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, yeah, unless there's any other questions, hopefully that gave you guys a really good overview of kind of this end-to-end benefit, right? And, even if you're like, well, hey, I've got a good payroll system, I've got, good benefits, etc., it's still worth checking out what they can do on the commercial insurance side and on the OSHA side, as well as, right, the drug tests, the background checks, the lead testing, it's
General liability, your truck, whatever.
Yeah.
Charles,
Yeah. Figure out how to roll your
yeah.
truck into your insurance, right? So now that's an expense. All of that together. I mean, we're talking like $20 to $30 less than the next, cheapest for drug testing and lead testing, right? And so if you've got, a ton of employees that you're hiring on, just that savings is huge. And then the fact that it's integrated in the system, you're not having to, okay, well, let me send you over to the clinic to get this test done, and let me file that in, in this folder that is going to be hard to track down. It's all in one spot.
Yeah.
But
that's
awesome.
that's a key component. Everything you said here today, you'll experience in the demo environment and the one-on-one with our people here who have years of experience helping business owners. And so, I'm excited again, the CoreWare partnership and everything that we've done. We've been providing different clients. It just gets stronger and stronger, every single month. And it's been a couple of years now. So thanks for having us on today. And so more and more people are exposed to the benefit of looking at us. All those business insurances that you mentioned, okay, we have such tremendous savings in those areas that it's almost like everything else is a wash. So
right.
It's like
especially if you stock any firearms, they
right.
The fact that you guys spun up that separate policy, just shows, right, how focused you are at helping this industry specifically and coming up with creative solutions. So check it out. And speaking of HR, Joel, I made sure that we put you on a performance improvement plan for falling asleep on the job. So check your app. You're gonna see some additional training you got to do.
So if there's a former Marine out there and your last name is Hudson, reminds me of a story of you falling asleep while we were at I don't know where we were, Camp Margaritaville on Camp Pendleton, and guy falls asleep on he falls asleep on Firewatch. You don't fall asleep on Firewatch, especially when you're a new Marine in a unit. And man, these guys were all over him. He finally just said, "I didn't fall asleep. I went to sleep." So there you go. I didn't fall asleep, Charles.
You went to sleep. Okay.
Purpose. Hey guys.
Yes.
So seriously, I think that's really informative, packed webinar. We're going to have a replay of it. And Matt, if you've got any materials that I can add, we build a smart bot to go with all of our webinars that people that are rewatching, they can actually question the bot as they're watching it. And if it was covered in the webinar, or you've got some information, they can pull that information up as they're watching the webinar. So anything that you want to include in that, just let me know. And that's for all of you out there as well. If you didn't see the entire webinar, there will be a replay. Don't forget to click on Webby and have him open there as well, so you can question him. And I think our next webinar, we're going to, for all of you Core Store and Core Force users out there, we're going to put together something. Black Friday's coming up. I don't think you really realize the power of Core Store and Core Force when it comes to setting up sales and just doing all kinds of different things to take a load off of you as we get closer to the holidays. So stand by for that. That's probably going to be in the next week, maybe 2 weeks. And it's going to be an action-packed, well, not an action-packed, but an info-packed webinar. With that, I don't think we have anything else. I would, play the Hail to the Chief again, but I think we can go out with our own music in our own head. Congratulations, America. It was a great night. Let's put our noses down and go to work. I think it's going to be a great year. This is amazing. I feel great. Even though I have no sleep, I feel absolutely just amazing. So we would like to leave you with that. Matt, anything else? Charles?
I'd say, if you are a Core Store user already, we are working on a more direct integration where the time clock from Advisor HR feeds into Core Store. Your staff can look up. We're working out the details here, but it's looking like you'll be able to pull up your schedule, like your work schedule for the whole store, right? So it's like shift swap, right? Oh, Timmy's supposed to be here. Who's coming? Wait, I got to go. Who's coming in, right? Oh, hey, Bob is supposed to be here to take my shift. Oh, okay. Well, we need to call Bob. Boom. Okay, there you go. So that direct integration is going to be really cool as well. So definitely, if you already use Core Store, it's just such a no-brainer to get signed up.
Absolutely. Well, guys,
Awesome. Thanks,
with that,
Joel.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
thank everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.
Yes, sir.